I want the people that you think are gonna be the main characters, I want them to die. Tickle me intrigued, okay? That's basically what I'm getting at. There's kind of some options on my list here, you guys. I hope you're proud of me. It's not just a bunch of smut. Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. It's really, really hot over here, so sorry if you hear my ice cubes. But this week, I kind of just wanted to prep us for the Romance Readathon. And all my amazing co-hosts, again, I will link them down below. They have huge backlogs of tons and tons of romance books that you guys can check out. So I wanted just to add a little bit more to the fray here, but I wanted to do more historical fantasy romance, which I actually haven't really read. So of course, I did a deep dive on Amazon and I found a bunch of stuff on KU for us. Okay, there's one that's not on KU, but I wanted to get us prepped. So I have a lot that I'm actually like insanely excited for. I have 5 in total for you today because I don't want to overwhelm you. And a couple of these I believe are going to be buddy reads over on the Discord. So if you don't know what the readathon is, I'll leave all the links down below. Otherwise, let's just jump into it and let's talk books, babe, because I found some really good stuff. This one's actually called The Wicked and the Willing. I talked about this over on Discord. So for those of you who don't know what it is, this is the one that's $5.99 if you get the Kindle version. It's not on KU. I thought it was, but it's not. I'm gonna prep you guys for this, okay? Because this isn't a feel-good romance. This isn't the type that's good like if you have anxiety. This is more of like, you're really gonna get into the mind, a dark space. Kind of really good to prep for Halloween if you're into that sort of thing. This is definitely dark. But the whole premise behind this, it's 1926. We're in Singapore here. We have a British woman. She's a vampire. She's in Singapore. She needs blood. She needs the blood of a young woman. This is a sapphic storyline, by the way. And so she finds this destitute maidservant, convincing her to like come in. She's intoxicating her with just her allure of her being a vampire and having this richness to her. But her other maidservant, who has been serving her for years, for decades, knows how dangerous she is and is basically trying to save this new young woman from her mistress. But they all end up in this crazy sort of love triangle that's incredibly abusive. There's definitely going to be power dynamics within this. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of gore. We definitely need to check the trigger warnings. A lot of people mentioned that this book is not, like, it's not a feel good. You need to look at the trigger warnings because there's a lot going on, okay? So I'm actually excited about it. I'm into the spooky vibes right now, but I want that gory horror quality. I love a vampire that's still a monster. The villain who's still the villain. I love to love a villain, don't get me wrong, but I also love to read just like the messed up mind of a freaking villain. So I'm really excited about this. It's gonna be a buddy read, like I said. It's $6 when you buy it on the Kindle, but I won't lie, the cover art of this book, chef's kiss. Whoever did it, rockin' job, babe. But yeah, this one, you're gonna get a bunch of bonus points for this. It's gonna hit like tons of different things. So this is gonna be worth a lot of points in the readathon. But anyways, this one I mentioned, there was a video that I wasn't able to do because I was busy, but I made a post about this book. This recently just came out. It's called A Hunt So Wicked. And while this technically doesn't really meet the historical fantasy romance, this I guess would just be fantasy romance. I had to put it on here because it has Bridgerton vibes. But it's Bridgerton meets Game of Thrones. So I'm in. I want the goriness. I want the people that you think are going to be the main characters. I want them to die. That's what I'm hoping for, so we'll see if that's true. But this one also, just so you guys know, I'm growing as a person. I'm becoming not so smutty, if you will. But this one supposedly has absolutely no spice in it. But it is touted as a fantasy romance, so maybe future books. Not entirely sure yet. But the whole premise behind this, it sounds neat. It's interesting, so there's going to be some games going on. But this apparently has a really, really addictive plot. It's a series, so this is the first book here. We don't know when the second book's coming out, just heads up. But the whole idea is that there's this isle that has all of these sort of royals that host this big event and this big hunt that will be a part of it. But it almost has this game show quality in the sense that they essentially invite all of these women to come be a part of balls, wear these amazing gowns, feast. It sounds like it's going to be a very Bridgerton-like event in the sense of it's going to be a lot of beautiful, like sort of Regency gowns. It's going to sound very loving and sweet. But then all of a sudden there's a hunt where they think, oh, okay, this is just going to be, you know, we're going to go for some elk or we're going to hunt for rabbit, things like that. No. It sounds like they're gonna hunt the ladies. So we have the guys. None of them are Prince Charming, which I'm here for. I love a tortured soul. I kind of love a little bit of a mean guy but like there's a purpose to it. So we'll see which guy I like. But there's gonna be multiples of them, and they're gonna be chasing them through the forest. And it sounds like they're gonna like really hunt them. Like it's not just gonna be like a werewolf going after his mate. It sounds like they're gonna like kill him. So we'll see. Supposedly they're supposed to try and like find a wife, but maybe that's like whoever is capable of actually surviving their monstrous personalities. That ends up being their wife, which that would suck. But I am tickle me intrigued, okay? That's basically what I'm getting at. But this does have insanely good ratings. It's like a 4.6 over on Amazon, and I think it's over 4 still even on Goodreads and whatnot. People are saying it's insanely well written. It's dark, but she has such a really good, like, she's telling a really good story. She has a really good plot in there, and even though there is no spice, it's insanely addictive even for a romance reader. So I'm excited. I want to check it out. It's like 308 pages, so I think I'm totally gonna do this one, especially because it's Bridgerton meets Game of Thrones. Okay, Bridgerton's our theme this year for the readathon. I think it's necessary, guys, all right? So the next one also kind of has a Game of Thrones element to it, but this one's actually a novella. I wanted to throw in at least one short story in case, like, you know, you need a quick read, you're busy, whatever, but this one definitely has a spice. This one it's gonna be smutty. But this one's called The Butcher King. It's only 29 pages. It's on KU, but like I mentioned, it's already in the vein of Game of Thrones. So it has that sort of ruthlessness, that quality to it. It sounds like he's a Viking. It's supposed to be more of like in the medieval ages. You know he's gonna have those qualities of just, you're mine. You do whatever I say, whenever I say it. So I'm imagining it's going to be a lot of that. I don't know if there's abuse to it. It didn't sound like it, but it is going to be dark. So prepare yourself for that. But it's going to be taking place in the medieval times, and it's an arranged marriage. So I'm imagining there's going to be a lot of banter, her not wanting to marry this man and him being like, tough luck, babe. This is your lot in life, and you now have to do your duty. So let's do it, you know? So I'm not expecting comedy, but I think it could be good. A lot of people said it's really well written for a smutty novella. So I thought I'd throw it in here. Sometimes you just need a quick read, you know? Cleanse your palate, if you will. I don't know if smut's really a palate cleanser, but it's short. But anyways, moving on. So this next one, I'm actually really excited for, which is surprising. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm growing as a person. This has no smut, no spice. This is all closed door. This is meant to be like a very cozy, sort of like magical, almost mysterious sort of romance with some fairy tale vibes in it. I'm very excited. I'm not gonna lie. I love the cover too, but it's sweet. That's what it sounds like. It's very, very sweet. So this is called The Fair Shawl Library, and it kind of has a little bit of Cinderella vibes, but kind of turned on its head. We have this girl. She's basically a Victorian era heiress. We're in the Regency era, but she's a Victorian heiress, and her father has just passed away. But she has to abide by his rules, by society's rules, and basically there's a cat that a man has to catch in order to marry her. And she's very much, it sounds like she's the type of girl that isn't really a proper lady. You know, she defies convention. She doesn't want to wait around for someone to freaking catch a cat for her hand in marriage. But this man comes along who has like a complete heart of gold. He sounds like he's more destitute, and it sounds like he might have a family. And he's trying to actually convince her to help him catch the cat. So they're going to kind of have like a marriage of convenience. And she agrees to it because she wants to have her own life. She doesn't want to be living to society's rules. So it sounds like they're going to kind of come together and try and help him find this mischievous cat who keeps just like running all over the place. There's this library that comes into it where I believe the cat's actually from, and it's this whole magical library. So there's kind of like this mysterious vibe going on, along with like this sweet sort of magic, and two characters who aren't looking to fall in love, but of course you're gonna fall in love. Okay. And it sounds like they're going to be a little bit enemies to lovers, even though they're kind of like pairing up. They can just help each other's lives, but it sounds when they first come together that they're going to kind of butt heads. So I'm sure there's going to be really good banter in here. I'm excited about it. There's not a ton of reviews yet, so just heads up on that. But it sounds like a really neat story. So I'm down. I'm here for it. I think maybe I should actually add this for the like buddy reads idea. That way we have one on there too that's not so spicy. Okay? So that's the Fair Shawl Library. All right, so the last one, you guys. Okay, this one I'm like, ooh, The Wicked and the Willing and this one are two that I'm just like, whew, I'm excited for it. When I saw this, I'm not gonna lie, like I was gonna say that I screamed. It was more like a squeal, but this one, I haven't found anything like this, so I'm so excited. Again, we're in the Roaring 20s, but this is basically like a cross between ACOTAR and The Great Gatsby. Hello, fairies and flappers. I'm here for it. I'm normally not a fairy fan, but when I start thinking about fairies and flappers, or fairies as a gangster, I don't know, all of a sudden I'm like jonesing for it. But this is called The Prince of Prohibition. The cover is so freaking pretty. The second book doesn't come out till November 2nd, so beware of that. But this one, it's essentially, like I already mentioned, The Great Gatsby. So our girl here, Adelaide, I believe she's from Georgia, and she lives on this farm, and she's been having like these dreams every single night where she's kind of lured into this dark forest, and she feels this dark force, this pull, very romantic pull, but it's pulling her in. So there's this idea within Georgia, especially we have like a smaller, more religious community, that the devil walks her farm. So she's trying to escape all of this, escape her little small town society of what they're saying about her and her pull to the dark side. And she goes to New York City, the big lights of New York City, and she kind of finds her way into meeting this man named Jack. Sounds like he's a fae. I think she's a girl, but sounds like he's a fae. And he's like this millionaire bootlegger and this gangster. And he has this super luxurious world. He's like so obsessed with her and keeps drawing her into all of his drama, into his world. And she doesn't kind of know what to do, right? Because she's been having these dreams and people have been telling her how dangerous this is to get pulled into this darkness. And she always saw it as this forest, but it's getting replicated through Jack in all this luxurious sort of criminal sort of behavior. So she's trying to figure out, what does she do? Like, does she go where her heart is, or does she need to keep herself safe? Is he good? Is he bad? We don't know, but I'm excited for it, man. I want to see how the magic's going to play out in here. I want to see how much is still going to feel like 1920s New York. I'm excited. All right, we got dark magic, we got fairies, we got flappers, we got booze, which I don't even drink, but it's the 20s, so we should be excited. Prohibition era, we're going to have some speakeasies, man. We're going to have some coppers, I'm sure, and some like gangster fights. I'm excited. I don't know, I might be looking too far into it, but I'm really excited for it. I'm jonesing for it. I don't know how y'all feel, but I think maybe that should also be a buddy read. It is like 500 pages though, so this is a thick boy. Oh, last thing. Okay, so in the comments, people were actually saying that our love interest, our guy, even though he has dark magic, he doesn't have a bunch of red flags, which is great because I feel like more of that abusive, toxic sort of man has been very, very on trend. Personally, I don't feel like it's been really written well, but that's been really on trend. So a lot of people said, that's not like that in this book. Like, this is a genuine sort of love story, a guy you could see yourself falling in love with. And the story, it's very like, there's a lot of intrigue and the plot was well thought out and it's there. So it's not just going to be this pure spicy book, which I think it's going to have some spice, but from the looks of it, it doesn't look like it's a ton. So there's kind of some options on my list here, you guys. I hope you're proud of me. It's not just a bunch of smut, okay? Just saying. But anyways, those are the 5 books that I found. Those are 5 that I'm actually really excited about. I'm, of course, also going to be reading some historical romance, but maybe I'll do that in like another video. But these are all on KU except for Wicked and the Willing. That one's only $6. I hope one of these kind of like, I don't know, jived with you. We'll see. I may go throw a couple more into the buddy reads list over on the Discord. We shall see. You guys also feel free, like, put it onto the Buddy Reads ideas. Like, if there's a book you think a lot of people would like or you would love to read with someone else, throw it on there and then we can vote, all right? No worries. But anyways, that's it. Again, I have all the channels to all my co-hosts down below, so you can go check out like their book recommendations and also just like all of their content. They have a lot of suggestions already. So if you're trying to prep, babe, trying to build that TBR, get some points, they're going to be able to help you to do that. So I'll have them linked down below along with all the readathon stuff. Otherwise, I will catch you guys later. I will see you guys next week, and happy reading. All right? Bye.